Make yourself at home. I'm glad to help any way I can. Like I said, I'm glad to help in any way I can. Help yourself to whatever you need within reason. Cross the river and then head north. You'll see Whiterun on its hill as you pass the falls. Jarl Balgruf? I don't mean to be disrespectful, as he's ruled Whiterun Hold well for years, but he seems in over his head now. He's been trying to stay out of the war, but it can't last. He's going to have to pick a side. I'm afraid he's going to make the wrong choice. I wouldn't say that. But he and Ulfric have been at odds for years, and I'm afraid Balgruf will end up siding with the Empire because of it. But it's hard to believe that even Balgruf would choose Elisif over Ulfric. I suppose she's Jarl Elisif now. She married High King Turug just before Ulfric killed him. The Empire supports her claim to be High Queen. I don't really have anything against her. Not her fault that her husband Turug was bought and paid for by the Empire. But she's nothing but a puppet for the Empire now, with her husband Turug dead. Ulfric will make sure she never takes the throne as High Queen. No, not until the Moot meets to choose another, and it won't meet until one side or the other wins the war. Don't worry, though. Ulfric is our rightful High King. He'll drive out the Empire, and Skyrim will have peace at last. It's my mill. Some folks thinks it's my town, too, but it ain't. The Jarl in Whiterun owns the land and the town. I just pay the taxes. The Empire may have been good for Skyrim once upon a time, but those days are long past. Banning the worship of Talos was the last straw. Thalmor everywhere, dragging people off for honoring our own gods. I'm glad Ralof is helping drive them out of here. If I was a bit younger, I might have joined the fight myself. And by supplies, I suppose you mean weapons and armor? Alvor can help you out. He's our blacksmith. All right, then.
I told you my sister would help us out. So you saw a dragon, did you? Tell me, what was it like? As big as a house? Well, I'll be. That'd be a sight to see. Not that I actually want to see one, understand. I hope that dragon stays far away from here. Got business here in Riverwood, eh? There are worse villages. I've got enough to worry about, taking care of my family. I don't concern myself with such matters. Aye.
I'm glad to help any way I can.
Papa says I'm too friendly with strangers, but you seem alright.
Imperial business. Be on your way. Imperial citizen, I'm warning. Your presence is Imperial business. Be on your way. Be gone.
Imperial business. Be on your way.
For the sons of Skyrim!
say Helgen got hit by a dragon. One of those horrors comes here. Be ready. Wiggins, I can handle. But this talk of dragons, well gone mad, I say. Halt! City's closed with the dragons about. Official business only. Fine. But we'll be keeping an eye on you. I'd be a lot warmer.
We'll pay whatever it takes, but we must have more swords for the Imperial soldiers.
I just can't fill an order that size on my own. Why don't you swallow that stubborn pride of yours and ask Yorland Greymane for help?
I'd sooner bend my knee to Ulfric's Stormcloak. Besides, Greymane would never make steel for the Legion.
Have it your way. I'll take the job, but don't expect a miracle.
You know what's wrong with Skyrim these days? Everyone is obsessed with death. I love even as man. Great love.
There's no telling what it means. My
What's
lord,
the meaning of
please.
this interruption?
This is no time
Jarl
for rash
Balgruuf is
action.
not receiving
I just think we
visitors.
need more information before we act. I just...
Who's this then?
As House Carl, my job is to deal with all dangers that threaten the Jarl or his people. So you have my attention. Now explain yourself. You know about Helgen? The Jarl will want to speak to you personally. Approach.
So, you were at Helgen. You saw this dragon with your own eyes? By Ysmir, Irileth was right. What do you say now, Proventus? Shall we continue to trust in the strength of our walls? Against the dragon?
My lord, we should send troops to Riverwood at once. It's in the most immediate danger. If that dragon is lurking in the mountains...
It's a provocation. He'll assume we're preparing to join Ulfric's side and attack him. We should not...
Enough! I'll not stand idly by while the dragon burns my hold and slaughters my people. Irileth, send a detachment to Riverwood at once.
Yes, my Jarl.
If you'll excuse me, I'll return to my duties.
That would be best. Well done. You sought me out on your own initiative. You've done Whiterun a service, and I won't forget it. Here, take this as a small token of my esteem. There is another thing you could do for me. Suitable for someone of your particular talents, perhaps. Come, let's go find Farengar, my court wizard. He's been looking into a matter related to these dragons and rumors of dragons. Farengar, I think I found someone who can help you with your dragon project. Go ahead and fill him in with all the details.
So the Jarl thinks you can be of use to me. Oh yes, he must be referring to my research into the dragons. Yes, I could use someone to fetch something for me. Well, when I say fetch, I really mean delve into a dangerous ruin in search of an ancient stone tablet that may or may not actually be there. Ah, no mere brute mercenary, but a thinker. Perhaps even a scholar? You see, when the stories of dragons began to circulate, many dismissed them as mere fantasies, rumors, impossibilities. One sure mark of a fool is to dismiss anything that falls outside his experience as being impossible. But I began to search for information about dragons. Where had they gone all those years ago? And where were they coming from? I learned of a certain stone tablet said to be housed in Bleak Falls Barrow. A dragon stone, said to contain a map of dragon burial sites. Go to Bleak Falls Barrow, find this tablet, no doubt interred in the main chamber, and bring it to me. Simplicity itself. An old tomb, built by the ancient Nords, perhaps dating back to the Dragon War itself. Ah, maybe you just want to know how to get there. It's near Riverwood, a miserable little village a few miles south of here. I'm sure some of the locals can point you in the right direction once you get there. Well, must preserve some professional secrets, mustn't we? I have my sources. Reliable sources. Ah, student of the craft. You'll need to start by learning an enchantment. Take an enchanted weapon or piece of armor, then use the arcane enchanter to learn its secrets. The item is destroyed in the process, so be wary. Once you know an enchantment, you'll need a filled soul gem and something to enchant. You'll use the arcane enchanter for that too. Of course, I have everything you need for sale if you have the coin. I'm not surprised you've never heard of it. Even I used to think it was just a myth. But not anymore. The Dragon War was a real event, although only the barest glimmer of the actual events has come down to us. Far back in the Mythic era, the dragons were worshipped as gods in Skyrim. Many of the monumental ruins that still dot the landscape were in fact built as temples to the dragons. The details are lost, but at some point, the Nords rebelled. After a long and terrible war, the Nords overthrew their dragon overlords. Oh no, many were killed, of course, but many survived into historical times. Why, this very palace was built by one of Balgruf's ancestors to hold a captive dragon. Hence its name, Dragon's Reach. I believe I am, yes. Technically speaking, of course. The city is also home to a priest, priestess, an alchemist, and I'm sure others who practice. Ah, that reminds me. Speaking of alchemists, I have some frost salts for Arcadia. She asked me to obtain them for one of her potions. Would you be so kind as to deliver the frost salts for me? I'm sure Arcadia will provide some form of recompense. Good. You're clearly better suited than I am to carry out such a menial task. A prospective student, are you? Well, I'm afraid I'm not much good at teaching. You should try your luck at the College of Winterhold. I'll put it simply, so you'll understand. I advise the Jarl in matters of magic. If the Hold is faced with any threats or mysteries of a magical nature, I am called upon to explain things and suggest a course of action. Hopefully that answer will satisfy you. Good day.
This is a priority now. Anything we can use to fight this dragon, or dragons. We need it quickly, before it's too late.
Of course, Jarl Balgruf. You seem to have found me an able assistant. I'm sure he will prove most useful.
Succeed at this, and you'll be rewarded. Whiterun will be in your debt.
Oh, I thought you were already on your way to Bleak Falls Barrow. Sadly, no. My work affords me few opportunities for such an adventure. Perhaps some hero will bring one to Dragon's Reach, like old Olaf one I once did. What a fascinating conversation that would be. If I said that was a tedious question, would you be smart enough to know what I meant? Probably not. As long as I'm left alone to pursue my research, I don't care who gives the orders. Now, I'm a busy man, and your pointless questions are boring me terribly. Good day. Spells and incantations for those with the talent to cast them. Off to Bleak Falls Barrow with you. The Jarl is not a patient man. Neither am I. Think of it.
Robin?
I can barely tolerate our presence on Earth. Today, they take
I know
away.
your family's honor is important to you, but we can't afford it.
It took me weeks to find that thieves' den. I can't stop now, and I can't get the sword on my own.
So you're willing to starve your wife and daughter to reclaim some rusty old sword?
I just need to hire one, maybe two good men. You won't starve.
I'll put it plainly. You can claim your sword, or you can keep your wife. If you set foot outside that gate, I won't be here when you return.
Saphir, are you feeling sick? Wait, You tried mercenary work? It might suit you. My Saphir doesn't like that I've been spending so much time looking for my father's old sword. He fed his entire family with the gold he made using that weapon. I'm not about to let it gather dust in some thief's trophy room. I tracked it to a group of bandits nearby, but I'm no fool. I'd need the Whiterun guards or maybe hire the companions to get it. I don't know why I'm saying this, but if you find it out in your travels, I'd be grateful to you. If you find that sword, please bring it to me. Sometimes I miss the soldier's life. When I hold my daughter in my arms, I know I made the right choice.
Battleborn, give me your money.
I don't have any money.
You better give me 5 seconds right now.
You tried mercenary work? It might suit you. I ain't done nothing.
Let me know if you see anything you like. Everything's for sale, my friend. Everything. If I had a sister, I'd sell her in a second. I'm all ears. Nothing at all.
Let me know if you see anything you like. You look rather pale. Could be ataxia. Ah, splendid, splendid. It's for a special brew I'm working on. A love elixir like none other. Maybe I'll test it on Farengar first. Oh, but I suppose you expect some compensation. Here. These potions should suffice. Ah, so you're an alchemist then? Come back anytime if you need... Remedy.
You know what's wrong with Skyrim these days? Everyone is obsessed with death.
The guards finally agreed to send you back to Riverwood.
Yes, Housecorp. We'll leave immediately. It's just us against the dragon? Is that it?
I can't afford to send anyone else, and we don't know where the dragon is. Your main job will be to keep an eye out and get the people to safety if the town is attacked. I don't expect the three of you to fight off the dragon by yourselves, but I do expect you to do your duty.
Of course. We'll keep Riverwood safe. You can count on it. Let's move out. Time's a wasting.